some people in the audience have seen this before. That this is from the Japanese company that we partner with for amino vital supplements. Okay, they are talking about how balanced nutrition on a daily basis with a specific timing helps you to recover your body so you can maintain your high quality training.
好，那大家想说，在座大部分应该有些人看过这张图。那这张图是出自于Pigford 合作的公司叫做Amino Vital。那这张图他们想要显示的就是一般他们觉得在日常生活的饮食当中，什么样的配置是一个比较健康的饮食。
Yeah, the one thing I like about amino vital people is not just giving the supplement to athletes. They're actually educating athletes with what's called a winning meal. Okay, how to eat correctly? Because again, that one supplement is not going to help sports performance. Right? It's the overall food intake on a daily basis can change your physique, can change the recovery process. So the balanced food like this is actually the factor for changing your performance.
那Sato这边提到呢，就是当你要在运动场上表现要能够有提升的话，你不能只有单一摄取某些东西，而是你是要在各个营养方面都能够均衡饮食，并且你在品质跟摄取量上面要有足够的控制。
So the next question I always get when I show this kind of picture, a lot of people ask me, is this always the same for different sports or different level of athletes? So I want to answer that question in the next several slides.
那大家也常常问到Sato一个问题，就是说，是不是每个人对于营养摄取方面都是要一样的？那不同的运动项目会不会需要有不同的营养摄取？那Sato接下来会在下面的 PPT 做介绍。
So I like to separate into like 6 different categories like this slide. Okay, it's easy for visual information about. Okay, main carbohydrate source or protein source, vegetables, milk product, okay, soup product, or fruits. Okay, so this one can kind of categorize your food intake.
好，那Sato接下来会把它食物主要分成6大类，那分别是主食，就是可能我们平常碳水化合物，那蛋白质、青菜类，然后汤。然后乳制品跟水果，接下来会分别做这6个介绍。
So if you actually go to the next slides to look at it, the first one I want to mention about this one is this is very general, okay, general look of the nutrition that's kind of separating into carbohydrate, protein, and fat intake, okay.
好，那一般大家来讲，要有一个均衡的饮食的话，我们会主要分成3大类，分别是碳水化合物、蛋白质跟脂肪。
And then this is more like a standard, but I know how Taiwanese people are more carbohydrate oriented diet. So one of the things that we check the food intake of people's athletes, it's usually carbohydrate only. So you have to be somewhat careful to be able to take enough protein in a diet.
好，那这边提到的是上面写的碳水化合物60%到70%，蛋白质20%，脂肪10%到20%，这是一个标准的比例。那Sato也讲到，在台湾大部分人都会摄取过多的碳水化合物，那由于食物选择的关系，所以我们会摄取太多碳水化合物部分，导致你可能一天的饮食里面大部分都是由碳水化合物所组成。那所以如果你要在饮食方面有个均衡的饮食的话，那你需要特别注意你的碳水化合物的摄取量以及蛋白质跟脂肪的摄取量。
So I'll give you an example of some of the pictures. Okay, some of our athletes send us a picture of what kind of food they eat, right?
Yeah.
On daily basis. Okay, big portion of rice, and then a lot of vegetables. Okay, and then athletes might think it's healthy because it's a lot of vegetables, but the vegetables are mainly carbohydrate. So in the picture itself, it looks like 95% carbohydrate.
Okay.
So it looks kind of healthy, but it's actually not for athletic population.
好，那在我们Peak Force 每个选手群组里面，他们都会把每天吃的每一餐把它拍摄到，就是上传到我们的 Live 群组里面。那他们就是上面可以看到，就是他们平常吃的食物里面呢，就是有很大一部分是饭或是面类，然后再来是也有一个青菜，也有一部分是青菜的部分。那可能他们或者是大部分人会觉得说，这样子的话可能是一个比较均衡的饮食，因为你有主食，有碳水化合物，那也有青菜。但其实呢，青菜也是一部分的碳水化合物。
Okay, so let's go to the next slide. So now the bar looks very different from the well-balanced meal, right? So if you actually look at this bar length, you see the carbohydrate portion, whether it's the rice or noodle, okay, that portion is very, very short.
好，所以接下来要讲到就是，如果你是有对于体重上面有控制需求的人的话，那这张图就可以看到你在碳水化合物这个的比例呢，就会非常的低。
Yeah, so this graph looks very sad for Taiwanese people because it kind of eliminates the carbohydrate portion. However, if you look at the vegetable portion, it's pretty sufficient amount. Okay, so what I'm trying to do for this kind of case to control the body weight. Okay, control the body weight. You reduce the amount of complex carbohydrate. Okay, rice or pasta, noodles, okay, bread, and then you maintain your vegetable intake. Okay, so you can have a sufficient amount of carbohydrate, and then you have sufficient amount of protein intake.
好，那这张图可以看到，就是在主食我们一般所摄取的碳水化合物的这个部分呢，它会非常低，但是在青菜的部分，它的摄取量是非常高的。那由于青菜也是刚大家稍微提到，它也是碳水化合物的一部分，所以我们会借由减少我们摄取一些饭食或是面包或者是意大利面，那借由多摄取大量的蔬菜来达到我们也能够有足够的碳水化合物的摄取。
And then I'm not saying that athletes have to do this kind of diet all the time, but we train a lot of athletes who are under the weight category. So a lot of the combat sports, it has to be in a specific weight class, right? So before the competition, they have to control the weight. And then a lot of coaches ask me, so how can we do it? What's the best way to control the weight loss? Okay, this is the right answer. Okay, you don't have to do this all the time throughout the year, but right before the competition, you change the diet like this. Okay, so that way you can reduce the body weight, okay, from reducing the carbohydrate intake.
好，那大部分很多人都会问大家说，那我需要就是每一天一整年都是以这个比例来摄取我们所谓的营养嘛？那其实很多包括像拳击、跆拳道，他们也是有量级之分的。那他们可能需要在比赛前控制他们的体重。那大Sato这边就会建议说，你可能需要在比赛前可能几个月或是几个礼拜，以这个比例的方法去摄取你所需要的各种食物所含的营养，这样就能够有效的控制你在体重控管方面的问题。
Yeah, and then I think this graph really good representation of keeping the protein intake high. So muscle replenishment is very good, and then you have enough vegetable intake to get the vitamins, okay, and then minerals in your body, and then that's also carbohydrate. So your immune system is, you can keep it pretty high, so you can actually function your body very well with this kind of diet.
那这张图里面除了讲到碳水化合物的部分呢，那它也会有非常大量的蛋白质的补充。那藉由足够蛋白质的补充呢，可以帮助你肌肉能有更有效的生长。那另外呢，蔬菜跟水果的部分，刚刚除了讲到它们是碳水化合物之外，它们也有提供非常多的微量的营养素，可以帮助你的身体能提高它的免疫力，那能够在表现身体功能方面能够更加的健全。
Okay, so let's go to the next slide talking about the muscle mass gain. Okay, and then I also have a lot of coaches asking me this question. Okay, especially like a high school baseball coaches ask me what kind of nutrition guidance you give to those skinny players. Okay, and the skinny players, one way to say it's a genetic. Okay, until it gets to the maturity level. But for a lot of the athletes who want to gain the muscle, you have to gain the protein intake, but at the same time, you have to gain the total calorie intake.
那接下来这个 PPT 主要是要讲说怎么样的饮食能够我们增加我们的肌肉质量。那很多高中或者是基层的球队的教练都会问大家说，那我要怎么样教我们那些比较瘦小的选手，那告诉他们要怎么吃才能够让他们就是长壮一点。那这个部分的话，就是会需要比较大量的蛋白质的摄取。
So let's say from the training perspective, if you want to gain muscle, people try to do hypertrophy training, right? High volume training. Okay. At the same time, the nutrition-wise, you have to do a lot of the protein intake along with higher calorie intake. Okay. And then the calculation is about twice of your body weight per kilogram. So if you weigh 50 kilo body weight, you have to get about 100 grams of protein every day to have that good effect of hypertrophy training.
好，那这边提到要增加肌肉质量的部分呢，我们在训练上通常会采取肌肥大的方式去做训练。那在运动营养上呢，我们需要摄取足够的蛋白质。那要怎么样要摄取多少蛋白质呢？那到Sato这边说，就是我们可能假设你是50公斤的话，那你可能一天就需要摄取到100克的蛋白质。
So this is so important because a lot of time, some of the junior athletes who want to gain muscle mass, they do a lot of hypertrophy training. But if I look at their diet, okay, they don't even take 50 grams of protein. So of course they cannot replenish the muscle tissue, and then they keep feeling sore all the time because the muscle doesn't get replenished. So anywhere from, let's say if you're 50 kilo body weight, okay, you have to have around 100 grams of protein for sure to replenish those hypertrophy effects.
那过去大家常常看到说，很多基层的运动选手，就是比较瘦小的运动选手，他们有足够的训练量在肌肥大的部分，但是他们发觉，它的营养摄取部分，它的蛋白质一天甚至摄取不到50公克，那你这样子其实就很难对于你的肌肉有足够的营养去让它做增长的部分。